So we need to somehow make our way up this. That's like proper rock climbing. This bit is a little more scary, and look at the drops down there. You're putting a lot of trust in that singular rock there. I'm not sure if I'm more excited or nervous for this ridge that's coming up, but that bit behind us just looks absolutely treacherous. Fair play to anyone who does that. Welcome back everyone. You joined me in the far northwest Highlands of Scotland, and today me and my mate are going to be hiking one of the best mountains in the country. Come along for the adventure. Starting off the day with a bit of incline, which isn't ideal. And if you watched last week's video, last night we camped just down there beside that river. Really peaceful spot, and we're heading for that mountain up there. Let's do it. If you haven't watched my previous video, then it's definitely worth a watch. It was a pretty eventful one. I ended up falling in a river, which wasn't ideal, but we then went on to hike 5 of the most remote mountains in Scotland, and the views were breathtaking, but my legs are definitely feeling it this morning. We're gaining elevation pretty quickly, and a view of today's mountain should open up around the corner. Yeah, look at that. It's absolutely huge. These views down here aren't too bad either. Amazing. So I don't actually think we're hiking too far today. I think it's maybe around 10 miles, but it's maybe even less. But there is just over a mile at the top of the mountain that goes over pinnacles and along the ridge, and it is considered a dangerous section. So that should be interesting. This track is actually really good. You could drive a car up this. Maybe should have actually brought the car. But we're starting to see a bit more of the mountain we're heading up. Doesn't look very ridge-like from here though, but I'd imagine when we get higher up, we'll be able to see those famous pinnacles. Okay, so we're deciding to do this mountain as an out and back. So we're gonna leave all the heavy stuff in the one pack, like sleeping bags and tents, and then take water and food and stick that all in the one bag. It just means it's a little bit lighter because the tents and the sleeping bag and all that sort of rubbish weighs so much. So yeah, now that we've got that off our shoulders, let's go. We should be able to fly up this mountain now. Feel as light as a feather after dropping the bags.
Yeah, I just feel like it.
This definitely feels a lot easier than if we were carrying everything with us. Seem to be gaining elevation pretty quickly. The path is really quite steep now though. We're just sort of zigzagging back and forth and heading for that up there. Look at these views though. You can see where we started, all the way down there. Come a long way pretty quickly, and it doesn't actually look too far to the top. Oof, that is some drop off the side. That's got to be a good couple 100 meters. Wow, pretty impressive. Holy moly. We have made it to the first top and the ridge has really opened up. Wow, that is really impressive. So that's where we're going to be going, up and over all these pinnacles here, and then I think over to that top. I think that might be the Monroe. That is something else. I'm not sure if I'm more excited or nervous for this ridge that's coming up. It's a little bit daunting, but the views are going to be amazing. But before we attempt the ridge, we're going to get some food at this top whilst we've got some space to sit without like 500 metre drops off the side. Squished wraps for lunch. Can't beat it. Right, I think it's time to tackle this ridge. This could be pretty interesting. A little bit of a scrambly section already. Just heading down there. And then I think up that, and then the ridge gets properly interesting just over there. This is good fun already. Oof, right, that was the first little scrambly bit done, but I think that's pretty tame compared to what we're about to do. Let's do it. This is the path here that we're on, but I just noticed that little bit over there. People must walk across that because it looks trodden on. And look at the drops down there. You're putting a lot of trust in that singular rock there. Yeah, I think we'll stick to the actual path. This bit is a little more scary. You've got some serious drops off the side. That was like a really nice lock-in down there. We're heading up there. But yeah, I need to scramble our way over these boulders first. This bit coming up looks absolutely wild. Wait till you see what I'm seeing. So we need to somehow make our way up this. That's like proper rock climbing. It was pretty difficult. Well, we have fallen at the first hurdle. We've decided to take a bypass path. We can see people further up and they've got like ropes and stuff, and it just looks a little bit too sketchy. So we'll take this bypass path up to the first Monroe. This path is still pretty sketchy, right enough. The drops down there are pretty wild. That's where we've come from, but it's at least a little bit safer. It's a shame not to go over those pinnacles, but we've been hiking for the last 3 days, so we've got pretty tired legs, and I just don't really trust myself, to be honest. So I think this is definitely the best option. It looks like there's another bypass path slightly further down. I don't know if you can make that out, just there. So we've not quite gone down to the lowest part, not completely failed. Right, let's continue on. Some serious drops off the edge here. Wow. And where you can see those people up there is the top of the first Monroe. We've almost made it. Last little bit. Well, here we are, the top of the first Monroe. There you go, Sgurr Fiona. That is the second one, just over there. And this is the ridge that we just bypassed. You can see why. It looks absolutely terrifying. What a viewpoint this is up here though. At least we've still got the views. We haven't quite done the whole ridge, but that doesn't even matter, to be honest. I don't mind now that I'm stood at the top of this Munro. I actually cannot believe people do that. I think you can see people standing at the top actually. That is wild though. Right there is just a straight drop off the side. We can actually see all the Munros that we've done over the last couple of days. I'm not even going to attempt to pick them out, but that's them right there. That's us back on the move now and heading towards the second Munro. Well, we have made it to the top of the second Munro of An Teallach, and the views back towards the ridge are unbelievable. That is the view we came for, the money shot. I think we're going to chill up here and soak in these views for 15 minutes and then head back down. Right, we've been up here for a wee while, so I think it's time to head down, see if our bag is still there. Hopefully it is. Back down the mountain we go. Just look at that though, never get tired of that view. I'm not sure how I've plucked up the courage to get up here, but this is Lord Berkeley's seat. Wow, pretty amazing. I forgot how sketchy this bypass path actually is. We're just following it round the corner there. Yeah, pretty mad. But I think we're not too far from where we join back onto the normal path. Oh yes, we have made it back to the bags and it's actually still here. That is ideal. We are now pretty much heading back along a pretty good track for a couple miles back to the car, so I think I'm just going to end the video here. What an adventure this has been. An Teallach, which is just up behind me there. What a mountain, definitely one of my favourites, and although we didn't do the whole ridge, I've still thoroughly enjoyed it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it as well. If you have, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you on the next adventure.